Hey guys, Smiley Face X here. We got another match in our Big Crunch division, being Cathay. Here we're up against a Chaos team that is pretty much standard. He's got block on one Chaos Warrior, and that's it. And he's also running a Minotaur, which is a bit weird. He's got one Loner Beastman. On my team, I've got 13 players. Movement Blitzer, Mighty Blow Blitzer, Strength Up Catcher, and yeah, that's it. So I'm setting up a little bit wider. No real reason to it. I just felt like this is a pretty nice setup. Protects my players a little bit better. If he wants to run around and try to get a hit on the 4 strength dude, he can feel free. Game plan this game is to just make him try to bash me without block, and hopefully he fails a lot of the blocks because of dodge. For the inducements, he got an extra reroll for his team. So I think he had 140k, and he only spent 100 on that reroll, so he didn't take any out of his purse. I'm not sure if he had purse. I think he did, but I could be wrong on that. Kickoff event was pretty good for him. Gets his players up in the right area and starts making the LOS blocks. Even though the blitzers are like my better players, I like to have them in front just because they have blodge. It means all the opposition blitzers are just that much harder unless they have tackle like the last team that I versed, the Bretonian team. Against the Bretonian team, I believe I actually put like the weaker ones in front. And the first injury of the game, only a badly hurt. Nothing wrong with that because I still got 2 spares, so she was only a line woman. She didn't mean much. I got 2 stuns, so he got 3 armor breaks off the LOS blocks. We're just going to establish the screen again and try to hit everything with our Mighty Blow. We're just going to shift dudes over and try to hit the soft targets, being the Beastmen, with the Mighty Blow. There we go. Get a removal. So we each got a removal apiece on our first turns. That's good. I believe it definitely is better for me to get removals than it is for him, because I'm always annoying to block no matter what. But his advantage is that he'll have numbers. So numbers and strength. So when he's down players and he loses the numbers, without having block, it just makes life very difficult because I can just start manning up like I already started doing with the 4 strength guy. Because of all his weight was over on the left here and he only kind of had one loner guy out to the right, I thought I'll put my 4 strength on there because if he really wants to blitz it off or commit to that side, it's very, it's a loner and you need to put a few people there to get 2 die. He goes for a foul on my line woman, like no skill line woman that was already stunned. Didn't really make sense to me. Like I get the idea, try to like get people off the pitch, but that's not an important piece for me whatsoever, as I already have a replacement, so it would have made no difference to the outcome. And like I said, him having numbers is one of the big things this game, so losing a player permanently, that really hurts. So we just get a push there. We're just going to follow and try to eventually get a surf in a few turns. I decided just to stand this guy up and not to do anything too fancy, because like I just want to tie up his players. Now that he's down 2 guys, just tie him up. We go for the 1 die. I was thinking about doing a 1 die. Sorry, I'll rewind it a little bit so I can show you what I was thinking. So here I was thinking about doing a 1 die onto this guy, so removing this piece, like moving this piece out of the way. If I got a 1 die on this and it worked, and I knocked him down where my line woman is there, then this person can stand up for the assist, and my mighty blow can actually get a 2-die onto the ball. But that's pretty much a 5+ block, because I need either of the power results, because he has blocks, so that wouldn't work. And it's just very risky this early. When I have things tied up, I'd rather do 2-dies, and then if I skull on the block on the ball carrier, then that doesn't matter too much, because at least my defense is shored up. Whereas if I skull on the 1-die here, it's actually quite bad for me. So I decided to scrap that idea and just do the safe 2-die and just 1-die the ball carrier. If I get the power, then I get the power. If I don't, no big deal. Everything's in place anyway. So we get the dodge, and we end up getting the power. So a little bit of luck there. It's always nice. And an injury to boot. So now he's down 3 players this drive. Scatter's pretty good. I try to pick it up, I believe. Yeah. Because, I mean, why not? If I pick it up, I got blodge. It's pretty hard for him to take me down. Don't quite get it, though. Scatter's pretty good for me. Touching 3 of my guys. I was touching his Minotaur as well, which is the tough one to get off the ball. So he opens up with a blitz that doesn't scatter the ball. It does lead to another 2-die. I thought he was going to try to scatter someone onto the ball to try to get a bit of a better bounce for him. And he's struggling to make his blocks at the moment, which is nice. Exactly what I wanted. Decides to push my guy inward, as opposed to using Chaos Warrior to push them outwards towards the sideline and keep marking up. Probably helps me doing it that way a bit more. The wild animal goes off, but he's still got a big tackle zone on the ball, so it doesn't matter too much. So, yeah, I definitely want to scatter this ball. Like I said, it's touching 3 of his big guys that I can't really compete with strength-wise. I don't get the power, but it's not worth the reroll. Goes to the Minotaur and he misses it. And that's actually a pretty good spot for me. 1 tackle zone. If I can just pick up the ball, we're in a good spot. So get a nice little stun there. Push another guy close to sideline. So if he tries a risky play on the ball, which I'm thinking it might be based off the situation, I should be able to get another surf and another removal. Put 1 person deep just to shield off the ball. We get double skulls there. This movement blitzer was going to try to run past the line, but double skull happens, which that was a 2+ block because I had block, and I would have accepted it both down because he doesn't. And then he gets the power on my marker, so a little bit unlucky, but that's fine. I guess I got lucky last turn getting the sack. So tries for the pickup, fails the first one, gets the second one. And I feel like he can't get enough pieces onto this guy that can stop me from getting another sack on the ball carrier. So I feel like I should have another pretty good shot at getting the ball here. And it should be, because the corner's marked up, I should have a 2-die on him. Should. That definitely doesn't help me though. That was a nice 4+, 3+. And so now I've got three players that are just in really bad positions. I'm trying to decide what I want to do with them. I want to keep 1 active just for like potential ball retrieval, and I'm just going to mark up the other 2 because they can't get around to the front side or to the defending side of the drive. So I may as well mark up to make his offense a bit slower, or at least a bit more riskier. I decided it's not even worth having her back there for ball retrieval, so I'm just going to bring her back to touch him up as well. So move my guys back, make my dodges. Now hopefully this works and then we get a 2-die on the ball. It does work. Beautiful. And we go for the sack. ×2. Let's get it the second time. Don't quite get it. Definitely worth a reroll. And we still don't quite get it. That's okay. We've got 3 guys touching the ball carrier. I'm just trying to think a little bit. There's got to be a like a chain push here somewhere. I couldn't quite find it though. And what he ends up doing is a 2-die into a dodge and run off, which is probably the most reasonable course of action. So he takes a couple of GFIs, which don't really help him, as I need to come left, I don't need to come down the field, so doing GFIs down doesn't help at all. That stun makes it, that failed dodge actually like frees up two of my players, which is pretty good. I still need to make a dodge to get onto the ball, but I at least want to make a consistent at least put one player touching the ball before I try anything too risky. That push is actually pretty bad. It means that these two can't just run in and touch the ball carrier, which is, a little bit shit. It would have been, if that was a power, then these two could have ran in very easily and got a 2-die. And now I'm going to have to do a risky play. So it's either so this is another, like, the little intricacies of Blood Bowl that I really enjoy. I could have done a GFI with this line woman to get a 2-die blitz, which is 83%, I believe is a 2+. However, a 3+ with a reroll is actually 89%. And because I don't have any rerolls left, the straight roll is better. So doing the 89%, as in the 3+ dodge away blitz, is much safer. Well, not much safer, but it is safer than doing a GFI blitz. If I had a reroll, then definitely the GFI blitz is better. But it's just one of them small things there. It really makes a difference. So ends up using the dodge, and we don't quite get the GFI. We don't quite get the sack. So I'm worried still about him doing the same play where he blitzes and runs to the tackle zones, to the touchdown line. So we're just going to do the same play again. We'll take the 1-die because why not? And we're looking at being in a actually very good spot to stop this drive. We've got this nice line woman here, which kind of shields off any help to the ball carrier. And we got the 4-strength person in the backfield. Tries the dodge, doesn't work, and doesn't work again. So here I have to be careful. I can't just be... I was going to move all my characters up and then try my play on the ball, but then if that happens and I don't pick up the ball, then he could very well pick it up, and then I'd have no players back there to try to make a sack. So I don't want to be too quick to handle to run away from the ball. So make our blitz, mighty blow again, obviously. A stun there is actually pretty big because that gives me a nice little pocket to run to the ball with. You get another power, which is always nice. We try for the ball now. We do end up getting it, which is nice. It's on the character that we need to score with as well. That blitz is only on 3 SPP. And then we just mark up everywhere. So we got another 2-die there and a 2-die over to the side here. So not following that was probably a bit of a mistake. I probably almost definitely should have. It doesn't. It just frees up a character for him to maneuver with. So that was a bit of a mistake on my half. I think I should have pretty much sacrificed my thrower to secure the drive. So I'm pretty scared here with a Minotaur blitzing my line woman off to the side. Because it's coming up to my second last turn, so I need to get people in position to score this turn. So his Minotaur wild animals on me, which is super good timing. And now this is actually, I feel like there's a better way to do this, but I couldn't quite piece together a way to fix this drive. It's actually very difficult for me to get past this Chaos Warrior on the wing. And neither of these catchers can get far enough without doing like 4 GFIs to get to the touchdown line. So our best bet is to get rid of this Chaos Warrior and keep running, especially because I have 0 rerolls, so a pass or catch play is pretty unlikely to actually work. Or with my 7 movement blitzer, try to get through the middle of the field somewhere. So I'm thinking block here, frees up these two, and lets me block the beastman. Puts another guy on that corner, and then we can just blitz with the ball carrier. Is the way that I'm thinking it's going to go down. First block's good. Second block's good, but because it's a both down, I can't actually get a person onto that corner, and that's where things start to get real iffy. It just doesn't quite work anymore. So we do the dodge through just in case if this fails, at least I still have somebody next turn that can score. And we get a skull, so a little bit unlucky there, but it is what it is. The scatter's pretty good. It still gives me chances with this guy. So a little bit unlucky. But it is his drive, so this is all just bonus. He gets the power on the only guy that can score, so that's pretty much the half done. Another injury, just on the line woman though. She's leveled up, but like I said, we got 2 spare, so it's not worth an appo. Gets a 1-die push. I'm trying to figure out a way to surf this Chaos Warrior here. I can't quite find it, so we're just going to go for a Mighty Blow hit on the 8 armor Minotaur. Hopefully something comes of it. I don't get it. Yeah, well. Last hits don't get anything from it, and that's half time. So I'm fielding with a full 11-man team, and he's still down 3 players, so he's only got 8. So I'm feeling pretty good. I still don't want to score early because he can get a KO back, and giving him line of scrimmage blocks can easily put me down in a at the start of a drive. Like last drive is a good example. I had 2 stuns and a KO off the first turn. So even though it looks pretty safe for me to just score and continue scoring and making sacks, I feel like that's the way that I let him back into the game. If I just control this, play it slow, and then just pretty much just go for a 1-0 scoreline, there's no need to get too greedy. There's not a ton of people that I need to level up. It was mainly just this blitzer that's on 3. She's been on 3 for a game or 2 now, so that's the only one that I'm really looking at leveling up. Long term, I want to get my strength leveled up, because she's actually marking up a lot and making a lot of blocks just because of the strength. So she needs block to make that a bit more consistent. It's just hard because I want to utilize that piece for its strength, not for its catching touchdown potential. So make a blitz with Mighty Blow, don't quite get it, and we make sure that we put my most important piece, the Mighty Blow, to the back there. Nice, we do get an injury on the loner, which puts him down another piece, which is pretty good. And with that injury, I'm starting to feel like, okay, maybe I should just start scoring a lot. Obviously, the kickoff near the sideline is super scary, because if the pickup fails and it scatters, it could be bad. But the pickup works. We try a little pass play, and that works out as well. I believe that pass actually levels up my thrower, so we got to level up on the thrower, and we got the ball on somebody that matters. I think following with that strength piece was a bit dumb there. That was my only one where I was basing another piece, and it made it easy for him to get an extra block. But he decides not to take that extra block and just to blitz. If he blitzed off this piece and then put one more somewhere, then that beastman could have made that block, and he could have got 2 armor rolls that turn. But he didn't quite see that. I'm not really flexed along the field enough to make a switch to the right hand side, and he sets up a bit of a screen on the left here. So we try the one block that we have. Doesn't quite work out, which is fine. We're going to advance the ball a little bit. We got a nice little pocket, and I'm not too worried about progress just yet. We got plenty of turns, plenty of re-rolls still. Well, we did have to use a re-roll on that double skulls there, but at least we didn't cop the hit. So get our player off the Minotaur. It's obviously not where you want to be standing, and spreading out a little bit. We're going to mark his rightmost man because same principle. If he wants to make that block, he's either going to have to blitz it or put a lot of people there. And he decides just to blitz a pretty meaningless piece, this little line woman. I thought he was going to blitz this piece here and try to get a push and the Minotaur next to my ball carrier. That's what I see a lot of people with the big men with Frenzy try to do, like frenzy their way to my ball carrier, which is obviously very solid. So here I feel like there's a few opportunities to do stuff in the middle of the field if I can make the blocks. So it's not quite here yet though, but we have beaten his beastman to this side, and we still have a full cage. And if we just bust up the middle a little bit, maybe set up a little screen to stop his players from transferring over, we might be on for moving up the right flank. So we get a block, which is super nice. And that guy's out of movement, so he just goes there. We finish the screen on the backside, just in case one of these guys gets through. And we decide to mark up this beastman and the Chaos Warrior, just so they can't bust through. So I feel like he actually has a pretty hard time getting over to the right. Decides to blitz with his guy that's on the ground. I guess it's pretty fair. It is my most valuable piece. It gets his piece out of the way so he can use more people on defense. I was having a hard time finding things that were good for him to do with like a blitz situation. Makes a 1 die, and then I believe he goes for the other one as well. So the 1 die cost him a reroll, which I'm fine with. I believe we just have to make the block on this Chaos Warrior, and we can get just behind this Beastman and set up a nice little cage here. We just can't put 2 people on it because that would take away our lane. So we make the block, and we're just going to mark up with the 4 strength on the 3 strength Beastman. Just to force an action from him. So I made sure I counted this before I pulled the trigger, because if I miscounted it and one of the corners was actually basing, that's a good way to get your ball carrier sacked, as making a single block, marking up somewhere else and then coming in and making the block is a good way to lose control of the ball. I just decided to stand up my blodger because these are the 3 that are going to rotate in front of my screen. So if I can just make it very difficult for them, then I want to. So far so good. And I decided just to base the Minotaur as well, because like I said, if that guy blitzes into my cage, it can be very troubling. So Mighty Blow goes down. Not a big deal at this stage of the game. I feel like I've got it under control heading to the touchdown line. The main thing we need to do now is find ways to stall the game. He does go for the blitz off the corner piece and makes the block. I made sure I put my blodgers on the side that's likely to get hit. And just to make it more difficult for him to bust in. It didn't quite work out for me, but it was the right idea. So We want to make that push off first. Pushing him down means we get a second shot at the block, and we've re-established our cage. Need to bring the strength up to give me the assist on the other corner. That's the next most important block. Even though these other ones have blocks, they're more likely to succeed, and most of the time you want to make your highest probability blocks first. The only exception to doing the highest probability first is that you want your most important blocks to also you want your most important blocks first, which for me was, well, for everyone, is ball control, anything that's touching the ball. So I thought about running past up here with the ball carrier. Sorry, you just missed a little dodge off the Minotaur. KOs herself. That's fine. The Minotaur's been taken care of. She done her job. But I thought about running past here, but it would have only been a 3+, and with horns, that's a 2 die on the ball carrier. So that's another good way to just lose the game when I've got it under control. Having this catcher up here actually makes it very hard for him to swing around in front. He fails the GFI, which leaves him with 1 reroll to go. Makes the important block. And the stun there is actually a little bit annoying. Every armor break hurts a little bit, and he gets a dude on the ball. Actually, a little bit annoying to remove this dude because of that beastman. It's not too bad though. We can get guys into position. So double skulls there makes me hyperventilate a little bit. Bringing that person up a bit closer, marking up the downed character, and we make the block. See the important ones first, even though it doesn't have block. Actually, these guys down here don't have block either. Hoping just to push this one down and away from the ball. So now we've got 1 spare thrower. Can pretty much go wherever. Put him at the back just in case some shenanigans happen with a potential, what's that, 4+, 3+ into a 2 die if I don't have one at the back there. I thought about using that thrower as like a forward screen, but all the players are already over this side anyway, so it's not too bad. Like I said, we can score. We could have scored any time the last 2 turns pretty much. His blitz is on the corner piece. Leaves his beastman able to be surfed. Relatively easy to be surfed actually. Whether I want to do that or not is another question. So I feel like I've got to hold on to for one more play, and he's got 3 guys standing in the top right of the field. So if I was to, make a potential surf, which would have required a linewoman to dodge out and sit on the wing, and set up like a shitty little pocket cage at the back here. Firstly, it's pretty difficult to do, and it's also not that secure. I feel like he'd just make a blitz and get like 3 people on the ball, and it'd have to be, a dodge out with my ball carrier to actually finish the drive. So I want to be a bit more secure than that. So what I'm looking at is eyeing off this Chaos Warrior and making a very solid screen in this corner and just marking up every other piece. Because I feel like that's the more secure play. So just standing up, like I said, marking up, and that piece where she is as well makes it very difficult for someone to come around the back as well. It just requires more movement. We get the block, which is wicked. And just in case he did want to come around the back, I believe we do put someone on the second last line. So I'm pretty scared of the Minotaur doing blitzes and stuff around the outside. So we actually decide to mark up the Minotaur. This piece is extra. That Chaos Warrior can't get there, so there's no need. Yeah, I was still super scared about the very rough odds blitz. But I feel like we got this in the bag. He decides to blitz with his Chaos Warrior gets the 4+5+ dodge into the GFI, fails the GFI, but then makes the block on my blodger, and I'm just terrified that this game's slipping out of my hands. And he stands everyone up, and it comes to me for the last turn. Luckily, I've got quite a few spare players. So that block frees up 2 of them. And we get an injury, which is nice. That's just more SPP for my Mighty Blow. Gets a niggle, which turns into an armor value, which is pretty rough for him, especially because the one perm of the game, which was that one, is the one that ended up getting MVP. So I'll make the decision here to blitz with my runner instead of the person that's down on the ground. A little bit more risky because they both have blocks, so the block was the same. However, the runner can easily pick up the ball and score, so it's just a 3+ pickup. However, the one on the ground has to do a GFI to do it. So I decided to do the GFI play because that gives the level to my blitzer, and it advances my team. Pretty risky when the game's on the line. You probably shouldn't take any extra risks, but I guess I'm just a bit of a dumbass. I also have the reroll in hand, so I'm feeling like surely this works. Fails the first pickup. I was like, oh my. And we end up picking it up, and now it's just the terrifying GFI, which ends up working. And that's the game. I believe this puts me at 3-1-1. I believe, yeah, 3-1-1. With I believe I'm facing Chaos again next week. So let's just put everyone at the back. Yeah, you can't really do a 1 turn, but there's things like Riot gain a turn that's pretty scary. I've got to put 1 extra person, a positional on the line, decide just to do the unskilled catcher is probably the best bet. I have enough treasury to replace the catcher if she died anyway, so no big deal. I got through the match without having any perms, which is always nice to just keep advancing the team. Obviously not, or having 7 armor is pretty prone to just dropping players left, right, center. Get a blitz, obviously that doesn't matter. But yeah, not getting perms is pretty nice. Amazons are super nice against undeveloped teams, and obviously super shit versus tackle. So I've gotten through the Chaos Dwarf team already, I believe, so feeling pretty good. And then he gets double skulls, and both downs I should say. And yeah, that's the end of the game. Thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned for next week.